Good morning, all of you. In the last class, we studied about mitochondria and plastids. Hope you remember it. Today, we are going to study cell division. You know that cell is the structural and functional unit of life, and every organism begins its life with a single cell. But if we begin our life with a single cell and we continuously keeps on growing, and a small seed becomes a huge tree, or a small baby becomes an adult. How is it possible? It is possible because new cells are formed in organism in order to grow every time, and that process is known as cell division. Why is cell division required? One is to grow. Another is to replace old cells, because when metabolic activities takes place in our body, some of the cells may become very old. So replace old cells, cell division occurs. Sometimes cells gets damaged also. To replace those damaged or injured cells also, cell division occurs. You might have had a feeling of injury, your hand or your leg gets injured, but after some time you see that cells come and your injury is totally healed. How is it that done? Because it is done with the help of cell division that takes place in the cells which is present at the place of injury. So these are some of the ways, some of the uses of cell division: helping in growing, helping in replacing damaged cells. There are other reasons also. As you know, characters are passed from one generation to the other. So during that time also, during gamete formation also, cell division takes place and chromosomes are distributed in the gametes to be passed on to the next generation. So these are some of the uses of cell division. Let me write it for you so that you remember it. So what are the use? Why do we need to divide cells? It is to grow, to replace old cells, to replace injured or damaged cells, and to produce gametes. So the process of cell division takes place to grow, to replace old cells, to replace injured or damaged cells, or to produce gametes. There are different types of cell division. One is known as mitosis and the other is known as meiosis. So let us see what these two cell divisions are. Cell division is a process of which continuously takes place in a cycle, but for in class 9 you don't have to study the cycle in details. Yet I would like to mention that there are two phases in a cycle. One is known as interphase and the other is known as M phase. The M phase is what we study in class 9, that is the mitosis and the meiosis. What happens in interphase? Preparation of cell takes place for the division to take place. For preparation of cell to take place, certain raw materials are collected, different types of proteins, enzymes, the nucleosides, these are all collected during the interphase, and then division takes place in the M phase. This division is further divided into 4 different types: prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. So there are 4 phases in M phase that takes place in both in mitosis and meiosis. When these divisions takes place, mitosis and meiosis, chromosome has to be taken into consideration because chromosomes are the one which is transferred from one generation to the other or from one cell to the other, so that the chromosome number remains constant in every organism. And as all of you know that chromosome number is constant in every organism, that defines that it is this species. So chromosome number has to be taken into consideration. When mitosis takes place, the chromosome number remains the same in its daughter cell. What do I mean by this? If it begins with a 2n number of chromosome, parent is 2n, the offspring will also have 2n number of chromosome. If this is parent and this is offspring, so they will also have 2n number of chromosome. That means chromosome number remains the same in its daughter cell. If 46 chromosome is present in human beings, the same 46 chromosome will be there in the cells formed after mitosis. So the chromosome number remains the same in its daughter cell. Now, in which cell does mitosis takes place? It generally takes place in somatic cells. Generally takes place in somatic cells. What are somatic cells? The cells which are not taking part in reproduction. So it is generally taking in somatic cells. When division takes place in case of mitosis, suppose this is parent cell, when division takes place, it will give rise to two daughter cells, both of having same number of chromosome. So what happens here? Two daughter cells are formed. With same number of chromosome. Let us see what happens in meiosis. In meiosis, this takes place in reproductive cells. Take place in reproductive cells. Now, what about the chromosome number? Chromosome number is reduced to half. Chromosome number is reduced to half. That means if the parent cell has 2n, the daughter cell will have only n. So chromosome number is reduced to half. What about the number of cells that are formed after each meiotic division? Number of daughter cell formed is 4. Number of daughter cells formed is 4. I told you 2 division takes place in case of meiosis. So if the number of chromosome is same, the division is known as equational division. So the mitotic division is equational division. Why is it called equational division? Because the number of chromosome formed is same. Now here number of chromosome has been reduced to half. So what kind of division this is? This is reductional division. Reduction in the number of chromosome is taking place. But as 2 meiotic division takes place in a single meiosis, there are both equational and reductional division. Both equational, that means number will be maintained, and reductional division. So, if we begin with this cell, suppose this is having 2n, in first meiotic division 2 cells will be formed. In first meiotic division 2 cells will be formed, each having 2n, that is first division is equational. And then again second meiotic division will take place, and 1, 2, 3 and 4 daughter cells are formed after second meiotic division, and they will be haploid in nature. So, the chromosome number has been reduced. So, this is equational division and this is reductional division. So, both equational and reductional division takes place in meiosis. Let us see that with the help of a diagram. Suppose this is a cell having 4 chromosomes, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So, if I show it with some other color, suppose this is green, this is also green, 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 So, this is one chromosome, this is other. Blue, you see there are certain chromosomes which is not completely green or neither completely blue. Why is this happening? Because the exchange of genetic material has taken place over here. See, these are the places where exchange of genetic material has taken place, and this is known as crossing over. So, crossing over is seen in meiosis. Crossing over is there in meiosis, and what happens because of this crossing over? Variation in different generation takes place. This is not possible in mitosis because there chromosome is involved from only one parent. This is possible in meiosis only because we are having chromosomes from 2 different parents. So, now you saw from one in meiosis the chromosome number has been reduced. So, why has this chromosome number been reduced in case of meiosis? You know, the number of chromosome is fixed in an individual species or individual or species. So, suppose we have let us take example of human being. 46 chromosomes in human being. You know that we have 46 chromosome in human being, or 23 pairs, 23 homologous chromosome. So if this chromosome number is not reduced during meiosis, what will happen? When one cell will come from father and one cell will come from mother, both of them will have the 46 chromosome, and in daughter cell it will result into 92 chromosome. So this chromosome number will go on increasing, and the cell will not have, nucleus will not have enough space to hold the chromosomes, and that is why the number of chromosome, as chromosomes also decides the features and other activities of the cell, the number of chromosome is reduced to half. Now let us see what will happen if it is reduced to half. From male we will get 23 and from female we will get 23, and that will again result into 46 chromosome. So chromosome number is maintained if it is reduced to half. Number is maintained in a species. So that is why meiosis takes place, and this will not take place in any case. Meiosis is an important process to maintain the chromosome number in a species. Now let us see the differences between mitosis and meiosis. Mitosis and meiosis. One is takes place in somatic cell, generally takes place in somatic cell. Takes place in reproductive cell. Number 2, chromosome number is maintained. Chromosome number is maintained in meiosis. Chromosome number is reduced to half. Next is only equational division takes place in this. Only equational division takes place. Both equational and reductional division takes place. Number 4, 2 daughter cells are formed. 2 daughter cells are formed. 4 daughter cells are formed. 4 daughter cells are formed. Number 5, crossing over does not take place. Crossing over takes place. Number 6, variation is not observed. Variation may be observed. Variation may be there. So these are the some of the differences between mitosis and meiosis. Mitosis takes place in somatic cells. Meiosis generally takes place in germinal cells or reproductive cells. Chromosome number is maintained in case of mitosis, whereas chromosome number is reduced to half in case of meiosis. The number of daughter cells that are formed is 2 in case of mitosis and 4 in case of meiosis. The division that takes place in mitosis is always equational, whereas both equational and reductional division takes place in case of meiosis. Then crossing over does not take place in mitosis, crossing over takes place in meiosis. Variations are not seen in mitosis, variations may be there in case of meiosis. So these are some of the differences between mitosis and meiosis. We don't need to go into details of the different steps in M phase in class 9, we will study that in class 11. So hope you enjoy the learning. Do subscribe the channel and don't forget to click on the bell icon to get the notification whenever a new video is released. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, do share it with your friends.